Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for the spring primary election Votathon 6 o'clock edition. We are going to share a brief message from our executive director.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to SOC's Spring Primary Votathon. Give me a second while I welcome our Spanish-speaking neighbors. Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a el Votathon, esta producción para el voto primario de la primavera. Si quieren acceso al programa de hoy en español, por favor, marquen el número que va a aparecer en la pantalla, que es 646-749-3122. Ahí está en la pantalla y cuando le contestan su llamada, por favor, comparten el código que aparece, que es 779-328-221. También aparece en los comentarios. Folks, we're so glad that you're with us today. We have so much to share. My name is Tammy Rivera. I'm the executive director and lead organizer here at Southside Organizing Center. And I have to remember to go slower because poor Miranda. Thanks. And let's give a shout out to Miranda, who's doing our interpretation today. Folks who call on that line are going to hear and be able.
Welcome to our 2023 primary Votathon Southside neighbors, followers, and especially our forum superfans. I am Alexis, the youth organizer here at Southside Organizing Center. Thank you for allowing us to be with you today for the spring primary election to share our non-partisan and critical voting information and keep contact to you on this important day. We've been trying to connect you all, our Southside neighbors, through door-to-door visit, phone calls, and texts.
Please say hello in our comments so we can greet you and share the Votathon on your Facebook page. If you have already voted, please share the number voter you were at your polling place and share a photo of yourself after voting with the hashtag Southside Votes. So today, so far, we've been joined by Esperanza Gutierrez, community elder and mother, Carlos Schmidt, staff alumni and former data and canvassing coordinator. We have also been joined by Clarissa Morales, who is my mother and founding president of the Alumni Association, former staff of SOC, and Miranda Medina. Thank you for your interpretation services today, too. Please feel free to ask questions today during our live. We hope you take advantage of the opportunities that we will be giving you all and inviting you to share throughout the day with us. SOC is entering its 33rd year of service to you and the longest serving grassroots organizing institute of Milwaukee Southside. Let me share SOC's mission with you now. SOC is a neighborhood-based organization dedicated to the development and sustainability of Milwaukee's near South Side. SOC works with and for the residents to create safe and livable and economically vibrant community. SOC is committed to helping residents have a voice, vote, and vehicle act together on issues that affect them and take positive changes in our neighborhoods. To make positive changes in our neighborhoods.
During each segment, we will introduce an opportunity for you to partner with us and enter drawings for gift cards for our Southside neighbors up to $175.
In order to qualify for these, you must live in our boundaries, and our district boundaries include Pierce Street on the north, Oklahoma Avenue on the south, First on the east, and 43rd Street or Brewers Boulevard on the west. during these segments, we will also be sharing voting updates. We will interview one of our expert civic collaborators who will provide critical information and resources. So we will have a video that we did record earlier that we will be sharing with you all today. And thank you to those who have been live with us earlier at 8 a.m. and at 12 p.m. We appreciate you watching. Before we get started on today's voting information, we invite you to partner with us to determine what priorities SOC will focus on in the next couple of years. This is our post-pandemic survey, and we would like to partner and continue partnering with you, our residents and our community, to help make our neighborhood dreams come true and address our top concerns, especially after being in a pandemic for the last 2 to 3 years. So if you will please follow the QR code. You could scan your phone, screenshot it, and we also have the link available there in our comments. If you fill out this post-pandemic neighbor survey, you have a chance of winning a $50 gift card. Please fill that out by midnight tonight, and we will do a live tomorrow on Facebook with our winners.
The polls are open today, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., and it should take about 15 minutes to vote. If you are in line by 8 p.m., they must allow you to vote. If you have problems voting, please call the ACLU voter hotline for English speakers, 1-866 our vote. For Spanish speakers, 1-88-B8-VOTA.
And now we will play a brief video to share with you all the My Vote website. I'm sorry, I have to share from my screen, so I'm trying to.
Now, the central website for Wisconsin for you to vote. And I want to show you that's if you miss anything I'm saying or you have any questions, this is like the website to go to. So I'm going to get my share a screen and let me click on that. And then my staff will let me know when it's showing. Is it showing, y'all? All right. So myvote.wisconsin.gov. This is the English version, but you can get the Spanish version too. Here you can see voter. I'll go through each of the pages so you can see. I'm just going to do an overview and then go. Your voter information, your polling place, what's on the ballot. You can update your name and address, register to vote. Here's information about absentee voting, how you can track your ballots, and how you can vote absentee in person. We're going to start with, there's also information here if you want to become a poll worker and the election results and any upcoming election deadlines. There's other voting information for folks in the military and just general information on how the votes get counted. So I'm going to go ahead and go to that first tab. We're going to go to my voter information. And here, if you put your name, first and last name, and your date of birth, it'll show you a list of the elections you voted in. Now, that's only for your eyes. Everybody, the general public can't see which elections you voted in. But for you, you can. You can check if you're currently registered, what that looks like. And then you can do all the other things that are on this website that are on the top tabs as well. Of course, I'm not going to do that because it requires personal information. And well, that's not safe, so I'm not sharing that. But I can give you the example of how to find your polling place. So I'm going to put in SOC's address. Like I said earlier, we're not open to the public yet, but you can reach us in so many other ways. Here's our address. We're in Milwaukee. Here's our zip code. And now, my polling place. If I were living here, my polling place would be at Durfler. And as you can see, it gives you the address, you can get directions, and it gives you the time. And then it gives you the number of the ward. That's like the area for vote, the area that school covers for voting. Gives you a map exactly where to find it. And then it shows you the other things that are going to be on the ballot. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. So we went to your voting information, your polling place. Now let's look what's on the ballot. And so I'm putting in SOC's address again, as if it were my own. And it's telling me today, the election, here's what you're going to see on your ballot. We're voting today from these 4 candidates, or 5 if you write one in. Which 2 are going to go forward in the race to the general election? Because this is the primary, the pre. Who are going to contend for that position in April? And we have Janet Protasuit. Sorry if I slaughtered their name. Daniel Kelly, Everett Mitchell, Jennifer Dorrell. And if you have a write-in. So that's what you're going to see on the ballot. I'll talk a little bit more in a second about the elections. Here you can update your information. Again, you have to put in your personal information to get to that screen. I can't do that. How to register. Excuse me. How to register to vote. You can again put your information and it will walk you through. And then how to vote by absentee by mail. And you're going to hear from the Milwaukee Election Commission about that, how to track your ballot, and how you vote absentee in person. I'm not going to go through those because we have a guest. So this is the perfect site for you to get your one-stop all needs for voting. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And then we're going to talk about these elections now that you saw the screen. You heard me mention that we're going to vote for which candidates move forward in the Supreme Court race, but this is what you need to know about how important that is. It might seem a little like not so motivated to go because it's only one race. but this is what you need to know. It's our Supreme Court Justice race. We vote every 10 years only. This is the only position that's for the whole decade. So it's super important you come out to vote. Otherwise, you won't have another chance for another decade. Can you imagine? The Supreme Court is the last stop for anything important to us. Any legal fights, they make the final decisions for the next decade. There are 7 justices. The decisions they make, they're going to impact us and our kids. And right now, the court, the reports from JS Online and other places talk about the court. They expect one of the judges to be leaving, which is going to leave a tied court, 3 conservatives and 3 progressives. Now, this is a nonpartisan race, but people are able to sort of label if a judge leans one way or the other. And so from all accounts, this is where we're at, an expected departure and then a tie 3-3, which means the 7th person that gets voted today really creates the makeup for that court for the next decade. And then you might be like, well, what do they make decisions on? Well, here are some key issues. They're going to be making decisions on whether people with disabilities get voting assistance. They fight gerrymandering, or what we call the need for fair maps. Gerrymandering is when they use technical when folks use technical fights to make maps lean towards their party instead of maps that really represent communities or a district of communities. They're going to be talking about who controls the taxes, local taxes, gun control, public safety. So those are really critical decisions. And so you do want to make the effort today. And it's a beautiful day considering the storm we had and the nice time we had. So you really want to get out there. If you want more information about the Supreme Court justice race and the candidates, JS Online did a video on that, and it's too long to share here and in our hour, but we're going to put it in the comments if you want like a little more information before you vote. So go ahead and we'll see that in the comments. And you can have access to that information. Now that's this race is only Supreme Court, but I want to get you ready because the primary is about getting ready for the spring election on what we can expect. Thank you to staff, Antonio, for getting me. Hi, folks. We understand that the recorded portion that we just shared of my presentation is coming off choppy on Facebook. Got that confirmed from some people who are watching it. So instead of sharing the video that we recorded of my piece on what's coming up with the election, that I came on live. And that's okay. You know, we want to make sure you're getting the message and it's not interrupted. What I was starting to say on the video was to talk about the spring election. And so we talked about what's happening with the primary now, and we're getting ready. The primary gets us ready for the April 4th actual general election. And what I was going to talk about is what we can expect for the spring. So you're going to be voting on the candidates who are going to go forward in the Supreme Court race. But also there are a couple of other things you need to be aware of for the Tuesday, April 4th general election. One is that there is a special election for County District 14 because the previous supervisor, Django Zerpa, resigned. So the county supervisor and the county exec created a special election, and the county election commission. The person who gets elected is going to finish out Zerpa's term, which was for 2 years, and it'll go through April 14th, 2024. Right now, those who are interested in that position are getting signatures for their candidacy. That's going to go on from now through February 28th. They'll have to hand those in. And then if there are more than 2 candidates, then they'll have a primary. So we're in a primary now for the general election, but because this is a special election, they're not on the same timeline because they have to meet certain state laws, et cetera, and rules about notice and communications and days between. So if there are more than 2 candidates, what will happen is the general election will serve as the primary for this special election. So we have to wait to see if we have more than 2 candidates. And then their real election, like their general election, will be held on May 2nd for District 14. What you need to know is, just like in the traditions SOC has done in the past, we will hold a candidates forum for those candidates in that area for the neighbors who live within that district. And that district, the census caused some redistricting, what boundaries are for different areas. And that was one of the changes since the census, this County Supervisor District 14. And more or less, it's the south side starting on 16th, and then it kind of weaves into 20th Street going east. And we do know of 2 candidates who have declared so far, meaning they've announced that they're in the race. And in alphabetical order, that is Caroline Gomez Thon and Travis Hope. The other thing that's going to happen in the spring election, general election in April, is there are some referendums, which are questions on the ballot that the state wants our opinions on. And sometimes referendums are binding, meaning whatever the people vote majority turns into what's going to happen. And other times they're like advisory. So I'm not going to share too much about that because there's a fight right now between the different parties about what referendum should be on or not. And sometimes that goes legal. So we're not going to spend time with that because we don't want any confusion. But as soon as we know and that gets settled, we'll share that. All right, I'm going to turn it back to Alexis and Jeanette.
Please say hello in the comments so we can greet you and share the vote-a-thon on your page. If you already voted, share the number of voter you were at your polling place.
Saying hello to everybody in the comments. I can't see who's commenting, so just wishing you all a good evening. We are going to invite you to partner with us to become a SOC Block Ambassador. And I will share a brief video explaining that.
Adults and youth who are 14 years and up can join us as an ambassador. You will, if you fill this registration out, we'll get back to you, have an orientation, etc. Make sure you really want to do this and pump you up for all the wonderful work we're going to do together. But what you agree to is just for your block, share any opportunities that are available for your residents and listen to any needs or concerns that they have to let us know so that we can work together to address them. Sometimes people are like, my block is really hot with crime, or the city's not picking up our recycling, or, you know, there's been a tree down for forever, or we want to organize, you know, a block party. Whatever those issues are, we want you to be the ambassador for that. And we want to pair an adult and a youth for every block. And then there's benefits in it for you as well. Besides improving your block and your neighborhood and your community, we're going to set you up with a bunch of SOC gear. We're going to give you priority registration for our events and activities. And some of those are going to be free and reduced for those members who have served faithfully as ambassadors, like our annual grassroots organizing conference, our Legacy Awards Retro Ball, our quarterly forums, and you'll have first priority for some of our other programs and committees. Again, there's the QR code you can use if you take your phone. You have to live in the district, which I shared earlier. Registration has to be in by midnight, and we'll announce the winner of the drawing of the people who sign up for that with the $50 gift card tomorrow.
Next, we will have our interview we did with Jonathan Zuniga from the election. He's election operations and training manager with the City of Milwaukee Election Commission.
Zuniga. Hola, Jonathan.
Hola, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tammy.
Mira, we're so grateful you're with us because we know you're on paternity leave. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What did you have?
A baby girl.
Ah, qué chulería.
Thank God. Healthy. Mom is healthy too, so really happy.
Aww. So now it's two.
Two. A boy and a girl now.
Happy for you and happy that you're with us and you're being gracious during your time off. Jonathan, there's so much to talk about that's new for folks. The Supreme Court race. So I don't know if you have any information.
Sorry, our video is we're having technical difficulties with our video. So we will move on right now. We do have another video to share with you all. Eloisa Gomez did an interview with us earlier today. She is the volunteer coordinator for League of Women Voters. And I will play that.
We're so grateful to have our next guest with us, Eloisa Gomez, who's the volunteer coordinator for the League of Women Voters of Milwaukee County, for the Comité por el Voto Latino Latinx Voter Outreach. Thank you so much for joining us today, Eloisa.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy, for inviting me. And I'm so proud of the work that SOC is doing in our community and really rallying people to get out and vote today and all the other good work you do.
We appreciate it. And we appreciate that you partner with us, especially on this aspect of the work that we do. Before we get ready to vote, do you have a special sweatshirt on?
I do. I know. I'm like, can you see my shirt? It's the Buck shirt.
It's a Bucks vote shirt. Yay! Well, listen, I had the privilege of going out recently to the session you had on the data for elections. And so I'm really grateful to you and your partner at Marquette University for sharing the detailed data of the vote. And what I remember from that session is, yes, we have some growing to do in terms of voting. But all in all, the South Side fared pretty well compared to other populations in the city overall, when you consider it was a post-pandemic, it's a post-pandemic time. Like, we didn't lose tons of ground on the South Side and other people did. So I think that's a testimony to the work that SOC does, to the work that you do in civic engagement and so many other organizations.
Yeah, I agree. It's very important. It's that data is so important for us to know about.
And so why don't we share from your perspective and the comite's perspective, what are some of the most important messages you want people to really get today?
Well, the most important message overall is that we vote today, that we get on the phone and we call some people and remind them to vote. That we're at the grocery store, wearing any kind of, clothing that, is a way to remind people to vote. There's so many people that don't know that today is voting day, or forget that today is voting day. And with this election, we are going to decide from 4 candidates to 2 candidates who are going to be the individuals that go on to the election on April 4th. So this is big. This is a 10-year term, and there are other positions that are up on the election, but on the South Side, it's just the Supreme Court race. So that would be the most important thing I would say that we could do today.
Yeah, I love how you said earlier, Eloisa, like, this is a time not to sit back, but this is a time you call your comadre and say, let's go vote together. And so people really need to take it seriously, because as we discussed earlier, it's a 10-year term. In other words, we won't have this opportunity for another 10 years to elect a Supreme Court justice. And then to inspire you all, we're going to be sharing a collection of videos that El Comité provided us on why we should vote. And we'll be doing that throughout the day and from here to the spring election. So we're grateful to you for creating that resource and for sharing it with us. What else would you like people to focus on today, Eloisa, in terms of the election? And then we're going to talk about the league. Is there anything else you can think of?
Well, there's a couple of things I want to say. We were talking about our comadres, reminding our comadres and our compadres to get out and vote. And I do think that is the most effective way how to remind people to get out and vote. Not the TV, although the TV is important, not Facebook, and Facebook is important, but it's the direct reminder to people who we care about, who are in our lives, that we listen to each other. And I think that is the best appeal to get people out to vote. So I just wanted to highlight, I think, further that that's really important. You think, I don't want to call somebody today. Well, text them, just as a way to remind them. And then making it easier for yourself for the April election too. That way, if you're doing it now, the April election is just so important as well. So I would say that. The other thing I think nuestra comunidad needs to know is that for some reason we're just not doing the absentee balloting as much as other parts of the city of Milwaukee or Milwaukee County. We're also not doing early voting as much either. So I think we should try to figure out how to make that perhaps a practice. And I know a lot of people, they really prefer to vote the day of. But you know what? Sometimes things get in the way.
Yes.
Your child comes home and is not well. So instead of voting, you're doing the important thing of taking care of your child or taking care of your elderly mother or father. So things do get in the way. That's why early voting is a wonderful opportunity for us to make sure we vote. And up until last Saturday, just 3 days ago, people could still vote early. So I think we got to remember, and we got to really promote that so much more, Tammy. I just think we all have to engage in that.
And imagine you could just fill it out and mail it. You could even leave it at your mailbox and your mailman has to take it. And as I said earlier, when we looked at the website, you can even track, did they receive it if you get worried about it?
Yes.
And so imagine not having the stress today and knowing you didn't even have to do much but put it in an envelope and leave it for your mailman, or you didn't have to be stressed and go to early vote. So thank you for that. Let's finally talk about the comité, your role with it. I know that you were the founding chair of it. And so talk to us about the purpose of it and what it does, and then how people can get a hold of you all.
Yes, thank you, Tammy, for asking that question, because we really could use more volunteers. We would love more volunteers to be working with us. I mean, we know that on the South Side, we need to do really strong outreach, not just because in some areas we have low voter turnout, but because people just need that direct connection about voting. And Comité started because we're focused. La Liga de las Mujeres Votantes is Milwaukee County-wide. In fact, we were throughout the state of Wisconsin. But El Comité, we're focusing just on the South Side. And we want to work with organizations like SOC and Voces and VIA and other trusted neighborhood organizations to help get out the vote. But we need volunteers to be able to do that, to provide the information bilingually. That is so critical. You know, even somebody like me who reads English and Spanish, and I could do both, but still just knowing that that information is available, okay, to me, but I can pass on the Spanish literature to family members who prefer to read and understand things in Spanish. So Comité has a bilingual commitment. We also, I think about the culturally important areas. We were at panaderias and at taco stands, promoting the vote. Is like a lot of organizations would not think of doing that, but we're, organizations like ours say, hey, we know where to reach people and we're going to do that. So I think that kind of understanding of our community is so important to reach people that way. And a lot of people really don't know about the resources that are available to them at their fingertips to be able to get information. We still have a ways to go, but I'm really grateful to the volunteers of our Comité who are working hard on a volunteer basis to do this. Again, we could use more, and we like the collaboration with SOC and so many other groups to get the word out.
And if people want to join the comité or get in contact with you, what's an email and maybe a phone number that they can reach out to?
Yes, the best thing would be votolatino@lwvmilwaukee.org.
And Milwaukee spelled out?
Yes, Milwaukee. Thank you. Milwaukee is spelled out. So it's votolatino@lwvmilwaukee spelled out.org. That's a great way to get a hold of us. And we would love to have people involved in working with us.
And we'll make sure that gets added to the comments here for folks to share. And like I said, Eloisa will be sharing all the resources that you so generously provided throughout the day and from here to the spring election. And hopefully you'll be back with us on our vote-a-thon that day. Thank you and have a great day.
Okay, gracias, Tammy, and thanks to everyone.
Adios.
We invite you.
I want to give a few shout outs really quickly before Alexis takes over. I want to shout out Maria Herrera, who was with us at our 12 o'clock show. Thank you for tuning in, Maria. Also, a shout out to my mom, Gladys, for joining us again here at 6, and to our board member, Gloria Garza. Welcome and thank you all for watching.
We invite you to partner with us to become a 2023 team member of SOC's Strategic Action Team.
Next promo of the day. As we said, there's going to be 4 opportunities to engage with us. The post-pandemic survey of priorities for our near South Side folks. I'm going to ask Stacy to put that link in the comments again in case you all missed it. And then the 30+2 and you, really rallying adults and youth to register with us to represent your block, be an ambassador. And then our third opportunity here is to join our SAS group, our Strategic Action Session groups. Folks will get together with us monthly. That's a hybrid session. Those who want to do in person can do that in person, and those who want to join hybrid can. We'll be able to respond to things that come up, concerns, needs, and dreams, In the past, we used to start groups for a specific issue, and then it's so common to have to bring you all together that we decided we're just going to do it monthly, and then whatever issues pop up, we'll address at those monthly sessions. And you all will identify what are the problems and solutions to pressing issues. And sometimes we'll already have an identified problem. Like we did, for example, last year we did affordable housing crisis SAS group with over 80 participants to really say, hey, what's happening with renting and homeowning in Milwaukee, and how can we really change this? We've done COVID-19 groups, starting neighbor association, a neighbor association in your neighborhood, etc. Again, there's a QR code for you to use, or the link you can find in
The link will be in the comments. And now we are going to discuss a little bit about Souls to the Polls. Souls to the Polls is offering rides that will be available today. If you have any questions or need a ride to go vote, call 414-383-1821. You can contact Norma Ballantyne. And once again, the phone number is 414-383-1821. And they offer round trip, door-to-door service to vote. Next, we will have Tammy just do a brief, give us a briefing on vote riders.
All right, folks, we're going to show you our promo from Vote Riders. And this is in preparation for the spring election. If you need a voter ID or voter ID help, these are the folks to work with. They'll cover the costs, they'll help you obtain documents, and they'll help you with any other technical needs you have, either themselves or refer you to the right place. You can call or text 844-338-8743. You can also scan the QR code, and you can visit their website at voteriders.org. It's a great resource. Take advantage of it. You have all kinds of help to vote, and we hope that all these resources were really useful to you. And I'll turn it back to Jeanette and Alexis to close us out for the vote-a-thon.
We invite you to share your feedback on today's vote-a-thon by filling out our forum survey. You can scan the QR code or go to the SurveyMonkey link that is on here as well. Just let us know what worked for you, what didn't work for you, and what you would like to see maybe next time. We're open to new ideas. We invite you to partner with us by following us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and we do have our YouTube channel as well. We invite you to partner with us all on our SOC promotions today, including the post-pandemic survey to determine our priorities for the next couple of years, become a Block ambassador with the 30+3andMe campaign, and joining our SAS team, following us on social media, and completing our forum survey today. All of those things take less than 5 minutes. Also, we'll close the segment of the vote-a-thon. We hope to encourage your action on two things today. The first is ensuring your vote is powerful all year round. And the second is to join with SOC in the work we do for you and the community. Today is a critical democracy day where you vote for the people who will represent you. It is important for you to stay connected to your vote all year round by holding your elected officials accountable to their promises and roles. And also by following what is happening with your taxes and what they are used for, and by and by following what action is happening in the policies and decisions. We will see you all back on Tuesday, April 4th. Go out and vote. # Southside Votes. Have a good night, y'all.